Uh, as now, in very early operating systems like MS-DOS, the passwords for people to log in were actually stored in plain text on the hard drive. This turned out to be a real bad idea because people might end up stealing that file and then they'd have all the passwords. So what they do now is they store a hash of the password. And so we're going to see how hashes work. So if you have a hash of password, it's stored in this format on Windows machines. And the way it works is they use MD4, which is a very old algorithm for hashing, because they developed this system and it came out in Windows NT, which came out in 1993. And at that time, this was the most advanced hash function available, MD4. MD5 had not been invented yet, much less the SHA hashes that we use these days. So you can get an MD4 implementation. Now, this used to be included in the math library, and the hash library in Python, but it's so old they no longer support it. So you actually have to download a GitHub project, and I made a version of it on my website, so you can fetch this file and just store it locally. You can make your own little library file this way. You can get some code and just store it with a Python directory in your the same folder as your project, and then you can import it. So I have to put a bang in front of that to do it in this environment. And that should download it from my server when I run this, and make that file locally available. So it's going to spend a few seconds spinning up the environment. All right, looks like it worked. If you take a look here, you can see, yep, there it is. MD4.py is now a local file. And so you can actually import functions from it. This is the way you can make your own simple little libraries. So now I can do MD4 password encode and print it. Let's see how that looks. There. If I do that, okay, it calculates the hash. The problem is it's wrong. Remember I said the right hash is this one, 8846 and change. It's 8A9D, so it's wrong. So it is the MD4, but Windows NT password hashes are not simply MD4 because even the 1993 version of Windows NT was an international operating system. It supports non-English languages, so you can't just have 1 byte per character. It used a really old version of Unicode with 2 bytes per character, 16 bits per byte. So what you have to do is use encoding it as UTF-16LE. That's what you have to do to get this particular kind of Unicode where it has 16 bits per character, which is what Microsoft used when they standardized this in 1993. So it's going to encode these characters, 8 letters, as 16 bytes of binary, and then calculate the hash from that. And now you get the 8846, which is the correct value for the hash. So that's how you calculate a hash. And so there are some flags. The first thing, you should just calculate 100 hashes for all the 2-digit passwords from 00 to 99. And then you should start cracking password hashes. I have a whole bunch. These are real Windows password hashes from a real Windows machine I set up. And you have user accounts that have, this part is always the same, capital CCSF dash, and then you have the name of the user here, which I think is always in lowercase. Be careful about that. That's a mistake students often make. And then a dash, and then 2 digits here. So there are really only 100 possibilities for a password for each user. So you should be able to crack these hashes. Notice this is the way Microsoft Windows stores its password hashes. First, there is this thing, which is always the same. This is an old thing called the landman hash, which is so insecure, even Microsoft won't use it anymore. And this is just a blank placeholder. This thing after that is the actual NTLM hash, so-called. The MD4 of the Unicode 16LE version of a word. That's what this is. So you should be able to calculate 100 candidate hashes from passwords in this structure, and one of them should match this, and that's how you get the passwords. And then I have some more hashing challenges with more advanced hashing algorithms. You use MD5s with several rounds, and you don't know how many rounds, so it's a much more complicated problem. I think I told you it's less than 50 rounds, though. Maybe I didn't even tell you that, but I think it's less than 50 rounds, less than 100. So you just have to try a much wider range of possibilities. And here you have an even bigger one, where you have to have more MD5 rounds followed by a whole bunch of SHA-1 rounds, but the total number of hashing rounds is less than 500. So if you have 100 passwords and they are up to 500 different ways to hash them, that's an awful lot of possibilities, like 50,000 possible hashes for each pass. But still, it's not that many. Python can do it pretty fast, and you'll be able to crack these. And then you can try Linux password hashes, which are literally 1,000,000 times stronger than Windows password hashes, because they use this system. In fact, they've now switched to something even more secure, but Linux Type 6 password hashes that were used up until a couple of years ago, these do crypt, and what crypt does is 5,000 rounds of SHA-512. So you can run those and crack these passwords, and then you can go to something really tough, LastPass. LastPass is a password manager, and they use a random salt and 100,000 rounds of a SHA-256. So the salt is text added to the password before you hash it. So I give you the salt, I tell you how the iterations of one hash function, and you can crack these. So these are all real password hashing systems, and you can practice cracking them and rack up some points here. The code all involves calculating these hashes and then various attempts to loop through them. All right, well, that's what I wanted to show you. I'm going to stop this recording.